Okay, members and friends, I'm just waiting for my daughter to come home, and I'm going to walk you through this. There's our little happy rainbow Puritan family with their rights and assets on that side. And here's us. Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, members and friends. So I worked on this today here, but here's a little recap. Christy Clark Family Day, February 11th, 2013. This was from last year, okay? You know, social services with their unregulated ministry, you know, doesn't have to answer to anybody, including a judge if they don't want to. Has a history of abusing their privileges, operates on a budget, ignores morality, and practices child abuse for their own benefit. Okay, here's Andre's family back in 2003 in the first part of the year. You see, we had our cortisone going off in here. Mother was not doing too well. Andre was over here, and then they put him up over here. And here's your happy little foster family. Okay, and this is all the risks that they put Andre through since they've had him. Higher chance to be sexually abused. Well, we'll never know the story behind that one, although he came down with a penis infection, so that's kind of suspicious in my opinion. I don't care what these people have to say anymore. Manhandled by a whole bunch of strangers, and he's still being manhandled by strangers as far as I'm concerned. Hunger, cold, and isolation. He was hungry each and every time any one of us ever seen him. It was like the foster caregiver was purposely starving him. As a matter of fact, they even suggested that he was starving himself.
They didn't suggest, they said that he was.
Okay, they said he was. So how does the 2.5-year-old starve themselves? I'd like to know that one. Represents bragging rights. Okay, anyway. And then they have all the privileges, all right? So here it is now. Here we are today, January 25th, 2014. This is what we need to focus on. Here's the foster family. Hey, they're a happy rainbow Puritan family. That's what they are. Huh? A happy rainbow, right? Puritan, nothing wrong with this family. They're 100% perfect, huh? Okay, and these are their rights and assets. Well respected and protected by MCFD, Ministry of Children and Family Development. Rewarded for negligence and maltreatment of a child. They get rewarded for that. They don't get challenged on it. They don't get audited. They don't get questioned. Oh, yeah, maybe they get questioned. But they, you know, they get rewarded because they get protected by the ministry. Because yesterday we went for a meeting. Not one that I wanted to go to because I requested for my lawyer to book another trial. But I kind of got hoodwinked into that one. And being that I'm the responsible adult, I had to go. And all it did in the end was just, you know, some fishing expedition to build a case with more accusations, and they got my daughter angry, the one that's holding the camera, because she had to defend herself on several occasions over the same, well, you weren't being consistent with your visits. And she said, well, yes, I am. No, you weren't. Yes, I am. Yes, I was.
It's all, I told her too, she can read my monologue, it's all in there.
Yeah, well, she has her notes, and her note says different.
Of course they do.
And she badgered you on it, did she not?
Yeah, she did.
Yes, she did. And she kept insisting that you were being negligent.
No. I missed one appointment, and
yeah, but she was insisting.
But I'm saying, when I missed that one appointment, I called Christina, and I asked if Tisha could go see him instead of me, because I wasn't going to be able to make it. She said no.
She said no. That's right. But any other appointment, you made it.
Yeah.
Or it was canceled out on you.
I was always early with the lunch ready for him, and they always canceled or rearranged or something stupid like that.
And under one of her little conditions here, it says, visits with Andre going well, consistent attendance. So even when she was writing it out at the end of the freaking meeting, she was still sitting there convinced in her head that you were being negligent and canceling out on these visits. So basically what she did is she egged you on, she pissed you off, and then when she knew you were pissed off because you were getting like, well, no, that's not true. Well, no, that's not true. She like egged you on 3-4 times to piss you off enough, and then she turned around and she dropped in your sister's name, and then, well, what would you do if you adopted Andre? ShaMay, would you kick out your sister? And what did you say? You said, why can't my mom have Andre?
Yeah.
Exactly. And then when that wasn't good enough, her mouth kind of dropped on that one because she didn't expect ShaMay to stick up for me. Because I'm a good mom. And that's what ShaMay said. Why can't my mom have Andre? She's raised us. We're fine. We're getting along. And she said something else. And next thing you know, because ShaMay was already angry with being accused of missing out on appointments, when in fact ShaMay was being canceled out on those appointments by the caregiver and the social worker, back to back, working as a, high five team. Okay? Then they turn around and they flipped it on me. Before you know it, I had the social worker on me. I had that other guy standing there just looking, and then ShaMay was on me. But they got what they wanted because they riled you up, and then they got you mad at me, and then now they can go back and say, no, we got that parent-teen conflict going. So, absolutely no violence. Home free of violence and substance abuse. You did a security check, right?
Yeah.
Last time you had a little rendezvous with the police, what the hell was going on with you and your boyfriend? You don't think that's not going to come up on that one?
No, because we didn't get charged. Neither of us
You
got
know
charged,
what?
and it was
doesn't
dropped.
matter. You came into contact with the police. Bottom line. Okay? Point is they called us in to build a case. They built a case. They tried to get another false confession out of me, right? With Sierra was doing drugs. We kicked her out.
What I don't understand, like I said, she finally admitted that Sierra went to her and said that she relapsed in 2012. I don't understand why they didn't kick her out then instead of prolonging it.
Oh yeah, because she said
until
it was
Until December, when Sierra was starting to go out more after she didn't do drugs. As far as we know, she only relapsed in August. Now that she told us, but after that, she wasn't doing drugs. She was just going out more. But they waited that long to kick her out and then apprehend Andre after.
Yeah, and then she.
When she wasn't even in the house.
And then she sat there and said that we're not allowed to kick out people.
Yeah.
And then she did finally admit that they made some mistakes.
What mistakes?
But she quickly changed the subject. Because we know the ministry doesn't make any mistakes. Anyway, let's carry on. Okay, we read it. Okay, so they get rewarded for negligence and maltreatment of a child. Because in our opinion, we feel that Andre's been maltreated by this caregiver. Immensely. Rewarded for insolent behaviors and attitudes towards Andre's biological family. That woman has never been nice to us. I don't care what you call yourself because I'm the... Are you watching my hand?
Yeah.
It won't be long before they say, well, I don't know, there's something wrong with that woman because she's always throwing her hand around. Well, yeah, because that's what that big boat was doing to me. It's laundry!
Yeah, she's rude.
It kind of reminds me of somebody, I don't mention no names, right?
Yeah.
Come outside! Anyway, we get the point on that one, right? Answers to no one. This foster caregiver answers to no one, just like a social worker. And can do what they want, or she wants. Financially rewarded when a child doesn't thrive. She gets rewarded when a child doesn't thrive.
Yeah, because the more problems they have, the more
money
they get.
That's right. And is not required to be held accountable for poor child care services. At the cost of $2,000 to $3,000 per month, not including federal child bonus at $550 per month. So if we were to multiply on the low scale, $2,500 times 12 months, she's already made 30 grand off my grandson. And then you factor in your family allowance at $550 a month because he's disabled of some kind now, for sure. Right? That's another $6,600. So she's raked in almost 40 grand in the last year off of one child. And that social worker sat up there and says she has more than one. That's why she's got all those little car seats in the back of her fucking minivan. She's got 5 freaking car seats in the back of her minivan.
Yep.
Yeah, so you multiply that by 5 kids. That's like 100 grand a year. More than that. 150 grand a year. Holy shit. 40 times 5? What is that? 40,000 times 5. That's like, that's a lot of money. Because 40 and 40 is 80. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's $200,000 a year she makes off of 5 kids being a foster parent. Is rewarded for not following the foster parent mandate. She's done absolutely nothing within her mandate. She's been rude to my kids. She was rude to me. She starved my grandson. She gave him infections.
Dry skin.
Doping
him up.
Making his face all red.
Doping him up.
Making him drool.
Slowed in development,
yeah,
mentally and physically.
His IQ's dropped. Can't speak properly. Can't breathe. I know I'm hollering. That's because I'm pissed off. She doesn't get audited. Someone making $200,000 a year off a whole bunch of sick kids needs to get audited. Are considered to be flawless and perfect without harboring any ill intent and or corrupt intentions to capitalize off of Andre or his family's circumstances.
This is coming from the MCFD. I highly doubt that.
No, this is the foster parent.
Oh no, I'm saying, but she works for the MCFD, so what she's
considered flawless.
No, but she's completely not flawless.
Well, of course not, but they protect her. They protect her. She's flawless and we're flawed.
Yeah.
Right? We have to do all the security checks. You know, we gotta go jump through these fucking hoops. Right? You know, we gotta have court dragged out, 15, 16 times later just so that we can maybe get a trial. Are rewarded for practicing bigotry and racism with callous intentions. Because they're an all-white family.
Yeah, and Andre's
half black.
He's mixed with a lot of things. Ukraine is like one of the poorest countries in the world. He's half black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
From a family of minorities, and he's put in an all-white family. Yeah.
All-white family that's making $200,000 a year, making kids sick. And dumb. And can't breathe. Are rewarded for their collusion to the larger group, because this is just one part of the larger group. It's collusion. They all working together. Bragging rights protected. So she gets to still run around in the community. She's got Amari Chorney in her care because his family is just out of control. With her bubble self. Okay. So we know she's got the pot of gold. Are you zooming in on that? There's Andre. You see that red around him? Over here, he had it over here too. But what they've done is they've managed to contain it now. And they've masked it over. See that little green ring around it? They've well insulated him and they've made him nameless and faceless. While they're still the happy rainbow Puritan family. They all got happy little faces. Because they're rolling in their pot of gold. Times 5 kids. At $200,000 a year. Who wouldn't be happy? When all you have to do is dope them up and put them to sleep and starve them. Right?
Yep.
Save money on food.
Yep.
You don't have to get stressed out chasing them, worrying about them crying. Who cares if they're drooling? Who cares if they're bumping into walls? Who cares if they can't talk? My kids witnessed that.
In all of the visits, either multiple things were wrong with him or something different was wrong with him physically and mentally. It was just retarded. I've never seen him that way.
After a year, they've successfully masked it all with their little bubble that they've got around him. But inside, that's what he is. A faceless, nameless little boy that's still full of rage. Well, his family down here is getting hot. Because we're tired and we're sick. We're fed up with it. Okay? So let's see. This is their assets and rights. These are ours. This is what we used to have. But we don't have too much of that anymore. Let's start crossing out what we don't have. We don't have music anymore. We don't really have positive memories anymore. We don't have fun anymore.
For the whole year
there is no such thing as a nana, auntie, or uncle anymore. That's gone. We don't really have family support anymore because we're just all depressed now, and it's just enough just to live, right? I mean, we still got love, but that's broken. It's got a broken heart in there. A broken heart, right? Huh? We got our pet still. From growing up happy? No, you can't say Andre's growing up happy.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Home education? Hell no, because he doesn't. When he was visiting with me, that's all he wanted to do was learn, because it's obvious they just don't do nothing with him.
No.
Can't talk. Didn't know his name, couldn't read his name, couldn't understand the alphabet, couldn't hold a pencil. He went from being first to that.
To being last.
So that's
In
gone.
my opinion.
He's not developing naturally anymore. That's gone. A chance to be positive, right? For a future, that's gone. And all his friends are gone. So what do we got now? First of all, we're voiceless. Because we've been to court 14 times. And we haven't had a chance to say anything.
No.
We're targeted. Racial profiling of poor minority families. Am I in the way of that?
No.
I don't care what anybody says. We're being targeted. I don't see them being targeted with their happy rainbow Puritan family self. But our family's being targeted. Suffer ongoing emotional and psychological abuse. Results in lack of motivation, constant anxiety, confusion, post-traumatic stress disorder, anger, chronic depression, suicidal thoughts, fear, physical illness. What a big difference a year makes. Number 4. Faced with constant accusations to submit to false confessions.
And they need to stop doing that, because we're never going to confess.
Can you, if she calls you next time, you say, I'm not booking no appointments, talk to my mother.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because we could have avoided that. Now they just got one more thing to complain about us. Do no fault of nobody other than them egging it on, because they're fishing. They're building a case after
Mom,
they
can
took
you
Andre.
please just, my hand's getting tired.
Okay. Held, number 5, held emotionally hostage and intellectually terrorized. Would you not agree?
Yeah.
Suffer from perpetual grief over the loss
If he
of
wasn't
Andre.
terrorized, he wouldn't have all these behavioral and anxiety problems.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about us
No,
too,
but I'm
right?
just saying he wouldn't have all these anxiety and behavioral problems that the foster caregiver
Yeah, I
seems
haven't
to
done
like
that
to
part.
brag about.
That part I haven't done yet. We're gonna get back to that one. That one I haven't done yet. But this is their rights and assets, and this is ours. Have to face public humiliation. Wait, suffer from perpetual grief over the loss of Andre. We feel grief every day. Oh, but this lady over here, she's a grief counselor.
I seen a little boy today that looked exactly like Andre, and my heart just dropped.
There you go.
I wanted to go ask the adults that he was with what his name was, because he looked a lot like
You
Andre.
know what? I
but
wouldn't be
couldn't.
surprised. They pass him around like a piece of meat anyway. He's just a little package to promote, that they're doing the great thing in society, right? Stranger danger. You know how many people he's been into contact with?
A lot.
A lot. Not us, though. Have to face public humiliation. This is us. Have to face public humiliation, ostracism, judgment, and ongoing gossip. Where's your grandson, Mama Lynn? Well, I don't know. They still have him. Why, Mama Lynn? Are you going to come out and play, Mama Lynn? Or are we going to play some drums? Where's Andre, Mama Lynn? Forced to walk on broken glass. That's what we're walking on. Broken glass. To prove yourselves to be worthy, to be classified as Puritans who never do no wrong. we got to live up to these people's expectation before we can even visit Andre again under their terms, because they want to follow their mandate.
But when it came to taking him away and doing everything they did to us, they didn't follow any bit of it.
No, they didn't.
But now all of a sudden they do. Like she said, she didn't want to just grab him back from them and give him back to us, but it was okay for them to just grab him from us and go take him to some stranger family, right?
And they move children from foster home to foster home all the time.
So I just don't understand why she could say that then.
Because they don't plan on giving him back anytime soon, ShaMay. That's why. That's why she couldn't. That's why she was just playing games and just changing the subject and got you pissed off, and then turned around and took that anger and switched it on to me. And because you're feeling all of this, it was easy to do. Okay, here we go. Forced to endure criminalization without being told why you're treated like a criminal, but still expected to prove you're not. Criminal checks, you know, gotta go for counseling now with him, right? We gotta hold hands with these people. She telling us that we gotta interact with them in a little room? Are you kidding me? I don't care. I don't care what you say. You're gonna do it, bitch. What do you think about that, bitch? Would you want to go in a room with someone like that?
Someone that's holding your grandson hostage.
Hostage? Making 40 grand a year easy off of him? While she maltreats him? And doesn't have the balls to go to fucking court and defend herself, but can sit there and cancel out appointments on us so that we have to defend ourselves with social workers that don't give a shit? Never get fair representation in a court of law due to due process. In other words, we never get to say our side of the story or have our paperwork read by a judge. The few times our legal aid lawyer has had a chance to talk has been over other matters. And even then, they shut him down when Sierra's lawyer just didn't show up for the trial. And then the ministry came in with a boomerang and wanted to cut a deal. And then tried to bribe me with paying me to look after my own grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, we got something new in the mandate. You know, we're just learning how to figure it out here, and it sounds like the BC Liberal government always learning how to fucking figure things out as they go along.
Yep.
Changing the rules.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's been like that for the last 12 years, so that's nothing new there. and saying, well, you know, we can give you some money. And I'm like, money? I got more things on my mind, lady. I don't care about the money right now. Okay. Denied access to files, documents, and other material relating to family despite written requests. We have put in written requests on numerous occasions to get information, and they're just not coughing it up. Forced to be subjected to harassment, which what happened yesterday. Badgering, which happened yesterday. Insinuations, which happened yesterday.
Threats.
Threats, which happened yesterday. Lies, which happened yesterday. Trickery, which happened yesterday. And other bully tactics. Because that was the whole purpose of the meeting. It was not to get Andre to come home. It was to put up another 100 hoops, to have to jump through them like the little monkey that you are. So this one can make more money. 13. Forced through coercion and other bully tactics to comply and submit to orders. conditions and to any requirements deemed necessary by social workers if we are to see Andre in the event that he can come home. So he can't come home until after we do their whatever it is they want us to do under their conditions, despite everything that's been going on over the last year. And then have the nerve to sit up there and say, this lady's a nice lady.
Yeah. I actually respect her. She's one of the best foster moms I know.
Oh,
yeah, right.
She's rich.
Andre's a prime example of that one, isn't she, lady?
14. Forced to endure being manipulated at the hands of a colluded group of professionals who earn their living off of Andre and his family's suffering. So all this is gone. That's gone. This, what started, looks like that now. Here's our colluded group of public servants that the ministry draws on. Their budget of this year, $1.3 billion. History of abusing their privileges, that hasn't changed. Practices child abuse for their benefit, but doesn't consider the cause and effect of child apprehension to be abusive or violent in nature. It's okay for them to do it, but it's not okay for everybody else to do it. Operates on a level of being pure. We're pure. We're the rainbow, happy rainbow Puritan family. Right? But lacks professionalism and ethics. Uses families and children as a contemporary commodity to ensure a growing slave state. Because they work for the government, they are creating a contemporary slave state. Rewards impunity from shareholders groups. Who are the shareholders? Privileges, the legal assets, the courthouse, provincial lawyers. They have open bank accounts. We're not talking about the legal aid lawyer. I kind of feel sorry for our lawyer.
Yeah.
Because he's up against a lot of shit here.
Caseload is pretty heavy with this ministry.
Manpower. They have all the manpower. They have the Ministry of Children and Family Development. They have Social Assistance Department, Ministry of Social Development and Social Innovation. Right? BC Healthcare, Public Safety Nets, Ministry of Health. All shareholders, Community Living British Columbia. And their purpose is to establish and implement corporate strategies, policies, programs, plans, and financial outcomes. BC Federation of Foster Parent Association, which was founded in 1972, I'm sure. Contract facilities, visiting centers, and MCFD houses, like that house that's over there, they're packing up and they're on the move now. Shareholders in the medical and pharmaceutical profession. Where did Andre get all those drugs in him from?
Yep.
It wasn't on our side. It was on this side, up in there. Universities. Relating to government job creation, retention, and expansion. Scientific study and grant block allotments. How many pills can we get him before he starts drooling? Policing agencies who allow MCFD to draw on their public services for the purpose of intimidating victims and other vulnerable persons. If you don't kick out your daughter, we're coming in with the cops and we're taking Andre away from you.
Yep. Or if you get a lawyer and talk to a lawyer, we're gonna come and take him away. If you don't put him in daycare, we're gonna come and take him away with the police by force.
Yeah, with the police. CUPE and other government employees and or contract groups who benefit from child protection practices under today's economic terms. I should put schemes, because this is a scheme. Ministry of Justice. because it's criminal check this and criminal check that, and you know, and we got a supervisor that might let you sneak through, you know, if you got into a little fight once in your life. Don't breathe! It's illegal to breathe! Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. We're walking on glass. Broken glass. And you're not even walking on eggshells. You're walking on broken glass. Barefoot. Okay. So, what have all these people done to Andre? Because he's well insulated, nameless, and faceless now. Within his little bubble of rage. He's suffered from multiple health problems. He's had breathing problems, bad asthma. Oh, she says he doesn't have it now. Or at least she's not sure.
Really?
What does she say? She's not sure? Something like that.
Asthma is not something that just goes away.
He's had penis infection. She thinks it's cleared up. I think it's cleared up, she said. This was yesterday. Underweight, yes? She said he's still underweight. And then I piped in saying, well, you know, his mom is small. But the thing is, when he was with me,
he was
the
big.
1 month,
He was growing. He was growing so much.
He
was growing so much
because he was eating all the time.
But you have to also understand, Austin is really tall.
I know that. Austin is like 6'2".
He's huge.
I know that.
Andre was growing at a rapid rate.
I know that. I know that. So I question because I know that. Rashes. Has suffered from emotional maltreatment, which has caused speech impediment, language impairment. He's suffered through hunger, and that through controlled selective feeding. He's not allowed this. He's not allowed that.
Cheese, milk, juice,
blah, blah,
this,
just
that.
a whole list of fucking things he wasn't allowed to eat. Dropped in IQ intelligence. I witnessed that.
I did too.
Loss of family history and cultural heritage, subjected to institutional racism with his happy little rainbow Puritan family. Forced drugging with symptoms of drooling. Slow reactions.
It was drooling. He had really red eyes under his lid. His eyes looked drowsy, and he was tired, and he was barely unaware.
Slurred speech.
One of the visits that I had.
Brain damage via cortisol release. No kidding. No fucking kidding. Here's our rights and assets. Severe to very limited control rights. Here it used to be limited or controlled rights. Now it's down to severe. Because we get nothing.
We don't get anything.
Nope.
Barely.
Denied access to all documents. Been ignored in court, but still prop up the system via court proceedings that stall for time. How can you go to court 14 times later and have nothing accomplished? Absolutely nothing. Other than, we'll come to the office and we'll just give you some conditions and accuse you of this and accuse you of that and threaten you with this and assault you with that and, you know, turn your daughter against you so we can sit there and write all this third-party information and then not let you fucking see it. Have been judged guilty but not charged of a crime. Have been denied public safety nets. I've been cut off of welfare. Health care. We have to pay for our own prescriptions. We have no money. Don't get dental care. Don't get eye care. Have to now face reduction in work hours as teens try to remain responsible. So they're not working that much anymore because all of a sudden their employer decided to cut their hours.
Right now, just for this month, Miss Lucas, my store manager, is cutting everyone's hours because we're not meeting labor.
Okay, even still.
So we're making less money at this point.
Even still, I'm going to have to go back to welfare and sign up, and that's just another one of, right there. Social Assistance, Ministry of Social Development and Social Innovation. They're a colluded group over there. Colluded. I have an 81 Oldsmobile. Still. On the verge of bankruptcy. I can't even meet my bills anymore. Destroyed opportunities relating to the non-profit. Gainful employment. Because I'm getting sick, people. Serious. Like, I don't know how much longer I can keep up with this. Never mind thinking about a daycare. And destroying healthy future relationships with my children, because this is how they feel. How are you supposed to have a healthy relationship when you're beaten?
It's the worst feeling in the world.
Huh?
I cannot stand. I seen 3 little boys today, and I seen a little girl, all with Tisha, and we both just went into a huge depression mode after we seen these kids. They were same height, same age.
Yep.
And then one of these little boys looked exactly like Andre, and I just couldn't stand it.
And they want you to start
that
up
he
with
should be here. He should be here, and he's not. And we have done nothing wrong as a family at all for him to be taken away, especially in the way that he has. And we have certainly done nothing wrong to be treated the way we have in this ministry and the way Andre's been treated.
Yep. And then to be accused that you weren't being consistent with your visits.
No, that was them, because I have it written down.
And so do I.
I have Sierra's appointments written down. I have my appointments written down.
So do I. But this just
and court proceedings too. Court proceedings too I have written down.
This one here just verifies nothing's changed.
I know. It's never going to change. Because like you said, Mom, they don't want to admit anything that they've done because they're the ministry and they're pure, they're flawless, they do nothing wrong.
They're Puritans.
So they have to keep that impression to people. And like you said, they are afraid that if we take them to a trial that they're going to get exposed for what they are, because they don't want people to see what this ministry really is. It does more harm than it ever does good.
But you realize, though, that we're dealing with this, though, right?
I know what we're dealing with.
And we've only got him. One person.
Paul is the only decent person out of this whole process.
You don't think all this is going to scare him away?
On a ministry level?
You don't think all this is going to scare him away?
It will, eventually, because I know this is a lot to deal with, but he's the only one that's been faithful and, as far as I know, sincere about it. He's been trying his best, and he hasn't, as far as I see, he hasn't shown any type of relation to them trying to work against us. He's been the best that we've had, and I'm really appreciative of him.
I think he realizes what we're up against, and he knows it. You know, I'm a little boisterous, flamboyant, and outspoken. But at the end of the day, I'm developing health problems due to the ongoing stress. And so are the rest of my kids. And I learned something, because obviously I have more work to do. I mean, this was just a little side gig, right? I got to get back into the paperwork. But I was reading something in here. This came off of Wikipedia. Psychological abuse, because I'm trying to explain to you psychological abuse is just as bad as physical, if not worse, because it's scars inside that you don't necessarily get rid of.
It's long lasting.
But yeah, exactly. And for women that are being psychologically abused, can develop gynecology, have a 29% chance of developing, female issues more.
What do you mean?
Like private part issues, like you get more susceptible
it's weird.
To, I don't know where it is in here. It was in here somewhere. But I was just kind of going at it and read everything word for word. But I found that to be interesting. Because, we've all had more health problems this year. Right? For various reasons. And for young women, this is something to consider. If they're finding themselves in this situation. But they need to first realize that, they have to realize what psychological abuse is. This is why I'm putting it like this, because I'm trying to point out the psychological abuse that my family has had to deal with.
By going in depth.
By going more, this is
people
I'm
have
going
to
get more in depth
understand.
than this. I'm going to get more detailed than this. This one here now, I'm going to wipe out. This one I'll leave as a reference, because we can see where it's been. I mean, it would be nice to take a snapshot or something. I can't keep just stacking up boards, right? But this one I'm going to leave for a little while, and I guess I'll wipe out this one, and then I'm going to start talking about maybe more and more detail, what psychological abuse, what it does, and who are the people that perpetrate that kind of stuff, How do you do that with your...
She's fat.
That's what I'm saying.
Fat women can do a lot of shit with their body if they're fat.
Yeah. scare the shit out of
Maybe
kids.
that's why she's a bitch. Not that I'm stereotyping anything, but it's true. Heavier women or people in general tend to be meaner.
Well, they can push.
They have more of a cynical attitude.
I don't know. Andre's afraid of him, but they don't want.
Of course, well, like you said,
Social
because he's
workers
been
don't want
coerced.
it.
He's been coerced.
Social workers don't want to acknowledge that. They don't want to acknowledge anything we've had to say. Nothing.
Because they're always right. They're always right.
Okay, well,
Right?
that's it. So I want to upload it, and I got some paperwork to do the next couple of days. It's killing me. You know? I'm one of these adults. There's Mom. She's not doing very well. She's like way out left field. They're wanting us to get her the help. They're wanting me to kick her out. Just so they can justify what they did, if it should ever go to court. There's me. There's my son. There's my dad. His wife has died. Oh, zoom in on all their faces. You get a good look on that one.
Yep.
Do you see that?
Yep.
There's my girls. There's one daughter. There's my other daughter. My dad's wife died miserable. Even though she was already miserable, but she didn't deserve what she got. Okay? She sat up in a hospital bed for a year waiting for Andre to come and say hello to her.
Yeah. She would always ask about him too.
Yeah.
How everything is going with court and with how things are going with him in terms of coming home.
Yeah.
And what could we say?
My
right?
dad is, grieving the loss of Andre. My son, me, my daughter, my other two daughters. But look at this. The happy little rainbow Puritan family who MCFD protects. As they got my little grandson locked up in some bubble, nameless and faceless. There, I'm done.